They for you, those nappies?
I feel like I've winged a career.
I knew I had my disc hanging out my ass.
It's not a large vibrator that I strapped to myself.
I fear for the state of your DMs.
Elbow deep in Punami.
What are you doing, you little...
I've got the popcorn with me, I'm ready. Hello and welcome back to Under the Lid with me, Jack Brooks.
And me, Katherine, Sciver-Brunt.
Here we go, another week, another location for you, Brunty. How the devil are you and where are you? You picking out your Christmas tree already?
Yeah, can you see my Christmas tree at background? That's a beautiful smelling pine in the French Alps / Swiss Alps.
Glorious.
NSB's gaff in Chamonix, France. It's delicious. And I'm taking full advantage of it for 5 or 6 days with my favourite
Nice.
people.
With the England women's captain?
England women's captain, England women's wicketkeeper, Yorkshire's finest, Beth Langston, and Theo Michael Sciver-Brunt.
And your son. Excellent. You having a nice time?
Brand new travel pram and all sorts. And I got right next to me a mountain of nappies. That's my life. What's your life look like?
Are they for you, those nappies?
Mine would be triple XL. These are just a 2.
Yeah, I'm all right. Obviously busy parenting as normal. Cricket's going all right with Surrey. Managed to get down to Canterbury Friday night with the first team to watch. Well, I wasn't watching, I was coaching. The first team beat Kent down at Canterbury, which was great. And it was my birthday last week as well. So cheers for that. I'm actually on the ciders right now.
Well, I was on the wine, and I let Amy and Nat pick it out last night, and it was bloody awful. So on the bees tonight.
You're in France and you're drinking terrible wine.
Yeah, well, we're in France, and they picked out a German wine. Not that German wine's terrible, but this one in particular was terrible. But don't worry, because we found a beautiful brewery today. We got stuck in. Don't worry, everyone. I only had 2. I am a responsible vet.
2, just 2 kegs, ale.
Yeah, I'll get on it tomorrow. Nat can take over tomorrow.
Excellent. Right, well, as always, this podcast is brought to you in partnership with the Cricketer magazine and the PCA. It's time to welcome on our latest guest and someone you know, well, I know her quite well, but you know her very well. Give us a little bit of info, Brunty.
I do know her very, very well. We share the same fantastic name. I'm not sure if she spells hers in the fantastic way. There's surely only one way to spell it. We've shared the same. We've been in the same team internationally, and we've also been fierce rivals because she is a filthy Lancastrian, and obviously it's only about Yorkshire. So we also are podcast hosts. She's better than me by a long way.
Rivals.
Yeah. She's also a PCA England women's rep and an all-round legend, and her name is Katherine Cross. Welcome to the show, KC.
I was so nervous when you got to do that introduction then.
What do you mean?
God knows where you were going to go with that, but you did quite well actually. It was all factual.
It could have gone anyway. I am rogue, I have to say.
I might just sit back and watch this tonight. I might not do well.
Well, you know, she is a podcast host, so she could end up grilling me instead. So we'll see how it goes. Jack, you've just got to, tuck in if she does.
I've got the popcorn with me. I'm ready. I'm firing them in.
I did offer to co-host this, Kathy, when you didn't turn up on time.
See, number 1 down.
She's taken over all podcasts now across it.
It weren't my fault. I was elbow deep in Punami with Theo. So can't be out at times.
I like that you had to specify it was Theo.
The other day, Katherine, you reached 100 England appearances and reached 100 ODI wickets.
I did.
How do you feel to get over that?
Yeah, good actually. I feel like the 100 appearances isn't really one we celebrate, is it? I feel like the ceremonial cap comes out at 200, which I'm absolutely not going to get. So I feel like 100 kind of goes under the radar, but obviously nice to hit a number like that. And I guess when you make your debut, you never anticipate that you might get a second cap, let alone a 100th one. So it's always nice.
It is, isn't it? To be honest, we always remember when was it Robbo was around? He was always suspicious, like superstitious about everything, and it turned into a bit of a thing. The 100 cap, it was like you were doomed. I had the most shocking day on mine. I think Smriti Mandana smoked me all over Derbyshire.
Yeah, that can happen. Am I right in thinking your 100th wicket that well, you did text me saying it took you a while to get there, but am I right in thinking you got injured in South Africa and then you took your 100th at Leicester like I did?
Like a year later.
Yeah, but was that right? You did
That is very
side?
true. Tell you what, Katherine, you got very good memory because you've just reminded me.
Yeah, I just remember doing an Instagram post for you, and I remember thinking, oh, it's lovely that it's at Leicester, but also a shame that it's at Leicester. But I just remember, I think you did a great celebration for it. I remember doing an Instagram post using that picture. But then I was thinking the other day about how similar that little part of our journeys have been.
Yeah, to be fair, we have had quite similar stuff going on. Well, obviously, opening bowlers. We both sort of use all our, we don't use raw pace, but we use our skills.
Our brains.
So yeah, and our brains.
Wow,
We're so
steady on.
brainy. We like
Here's
to
a
land the
question
ball on a
for
50p piece, don't we, Katherine? It's all about
We
line
try.
and length, line and length.
I've got a question for both of you. Brunty, what one thing from Crossy's bowling would you love to have, and Crossy vice versa?
Good question.
Mm.
Anger? Do you love to have Brunty's anger?
Well, yeah, but also no, because it gets in trouble. How many level ones did you have, Kathy?
This is hard because I'd say we're both very similar. Like when you swing it, you do swing it away, and we'd say our wobble ball was our wicket taking ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
You like a leggy as much as I do, and we can be both fiery. So I think that is the one thing I would have from you is the way you manage to keep your together.
Bit more controlled.
I think I'd want probably your injury resilience, because I think I'm probably one more injury away from jacking this in, whereas you had like 3 back operations and came back and were just still brilliant. So
Yeah, I've 100% had my fair share. I actually question, would you say, like for me, I reckon I've played something like 75-80% of my career not well in the body or the mind for that fact, but mainly the body. I'd say if somebody said, "Yo, I'm feeling 100% running in," fantastic. I'm not sure what that feels like. I think I felt that in 2005 once. But I'd say 80% of my career was based on not really giving it everything and feeling broken. Thoughts?
Yeah, I feel like you definitely have had it a lot worse than me though. But I feel like any seamer out there, Jack, you probably can be part of this conversation. Like when do you ever feel 100%?
Probably first spell of the season in pre-season, and then maybe a couple of weeks before Christmas, because I wouldn't have picked up a ball and I wouldn't have hardly done much running either. And it's just like, oh yeah, I can walk down the stairs normally. It's great.
How bad's that feeling after that first ball when you feel like your rib cage has just like switched itself round?
You can't bend and touch your toes. Well, that was bad for me.
All round your shoulder, all round like the bowling arm.
Awful. Why do we do it? Awful.
It's kind of a sick feeling. I don't know what you two are like. I think I might discuss this with Brunty, but I liked to feel stiff if you were bowling stiff in a way. I didn't like to feel too loose because I like to actually try and blast through my body, if you like, when I was bowling, rather than if I was too loose, I didn't feel like I had the control.
I remember back in the day, Kathy, when we used to play what was championship cricket back then, when we used to go down to Taunton and do 5 days on the trot of 50 over cricket. Do you remember? And it was awful. It was the only time we could. Everyone had jobs, so it was like school holidays, and that's the only time everyone could go down and play cricket. And I remember always thinking that my second and third games were better, just because I was so stiff that my body had to get in the only position it knew, and then I'd bowl better. Yeah, yeah.
I was going to say, like you two wouldn't have played as much longer format as me, but 5 games of 50 over cricket back to back. That sounds absolutely putrid.
Oh, it's the same as 5-day cricket. Probably worse actually, because you're out there guaranteed for 50 overs.
Yeah, there's no breaks after 2 hours, is there?
It's like a feral festival, wasn't it? It's just like this festival of 3,000 girls all coming together and bowling till they die over the weekend.
All staying at the Holiday Inn Taunton.
Rock stars.
All roads lead there. I swear. I've played at Taunton more this summer than I've played at Old Trafford. It's absolutely wild.
And you've been using the same locker space for all your career down in Taunton, have you?
Yeah, so Kathy, I've always used Jack's space down in Taunton because I like sitting somewhere where I know the person. So I always chose Jack.
So I sat in your cubbyhole as well just now.
You were there having your dinner the other night, yeah. And then he's still got his ferret picture on the wall, so I always know it's Jack's, even though it's now not his name, obviously.
You've got to leave something behind for everyone, haven't you?
Mm-hmm. Legacy, that famous legacy of yours.
Exactly. You've got to leave a little bit of yourself somewhere, haven't you?
I thought it was pretty cute. I thought somebody would have taken that down by now, but nice. Respect.
No, it's reputation, isn't it? Reputational damage by them.
Anyway, talking about feral backs and bowling 1,000 overs, you returning from your most recent injury, which I was there for, when you went down in South Africa, and then poor Nat, she had to bowl 10 overs then. She couldn't walk the next morning,
Nat.
by the way.
She hasn't bowled
her
since.
Her Achilles were hanging off.
Sorry, Nat.
She's doing washing. How did that feel? Like you had a proper... Oh God, you've even got Jack. She's got her own like, it's amazing what you can get these days. Round the back, Velcro round each side. Press a button, and it's basically
the vibrating thing.
It's phenomenal. And a massager.
Should we just put a bit more detail into this? It's a back heater that has a massaging tool in it. It's not a large vibrator that I strapped to myself.
Craig Overton had one of those at Somerset, and I'm pretty sure he used to end up just sitting not far from me, just suddenly this.
Yeah.
You had it on 24 hours, didn't you?
Oh God, in South Africa. Well, I borrowed Lauren Bell's in South Africa because I didn't own one when I initially did my back injury, and I was like, oh, if I wear this for 2 days, I'll be able to play in the Test match. But they're not quite that good. They're good, but they're not that good.
No, but you attempted it. You stayed the whole trip and tried to rehab the crap out of it and get a game out of it at the end, but wasn't to be.
Yeah, well, it was because I didn't get my diagnosis until after the Ashes. So I thought I had caught a nerve. So I felt something pop when I was bowling, which is obviously not what you want to feel in your back. And I remember Nat was the first person that came to me on the field. And she said, what's happened? I said, I felt something pop in my back. And she's like, right, okay. Physio comes on, and then I just can't move. I'd completely spasmed. And do you know the stairs at Potch to get back up to the dressing room? There's quite a few, isn't there? And they kind of loop round. And I couldn't get up the first one. Like I couldn't put anything through my legs. I was like, oh God, this doesn't look good. This was the 5th ball of the day as well. So poor Sophia Dunkley had to go on and field for 49.1 overs for me, which was absolutely tragic for her. Sorry, Dunks. But yeah, I was thinking, gosh, if I can't get up these stairs, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get back on and have a bowl in a bit. But yeah, I didn't get my diagnosis till we actually got back from Australia, and that was when they told me that I'd actually torn the disc. So I tried to play cricket in the Test match in South Africa. I tried to go to Australia and play in the one-dayers and the Test match over there, all because I'd had an epidural over Christmas to just try and numb the pain, but obviously it wasn't meant to be. But I think, in hindsight, if I knew what I had, if I'd known at Christmas that it was a torn disc, I'm not sure I would have travelled to Australia, because realistically I was never gonna play. But you know, it's like, Kathy, when it's those big tournaments and you're 33, you don't know if you'll make the next Ashes, and there's one World Cup round the corner, but you're probably not going to make the next 50 over World Cup. So it's like you're desperate to try and play in everything that you can. And I probably put myself through it more mentally. Well, it was physical as well, but I think the mental side of it just took its toll as well, and I put so much pressure on myself and stress that obviously that doesn't help a back injury either. So yeah, it took a while, but then obviously Nat actually had a really nice moment at Derby where Nat let me start the team song, even though Amy had scored her first 100, Tammy had scored her 11th 100, Lindsay debuted and took a fiver, and she let me start the team song because it was my first game in 6 months for England. So she'd recognised that, and I thought it was really sweet.
Oh, well done, Natty. You remember that, you can't forget, obviously, that test match at the Wacker where we won in the Ashes. Bloody awesome, but also not the worst ever time for me ever. Like the very best 4 days ever, but the worst time of my life ever in 2014. That was when, so you were saying like just now that you know what you put yourself through not to miss something. Well, I knew I had my disc hanging out my ass at that point. And at breakfast every morning, I was dragging my right leg behind me because I couldn't physically pick it up. It wasn't drop foot because that equals, you really need to go to hospital. You're not well. But it felt like it, and it just. I remember being like, "What the are you doing?" Like,
I remember having a conversation with you. So I was obviously really new to the squad then. So that was my test debut, and I'd only whiteboard debuted 3 months prior when we'd gone to the West Indies. And me and you were stood at the nets at the Wacker, and you said to me, you needed to decide if you carry on playing cricket or you live the rest of your life in a wheelchair. And I remember being brand new to this environment thinking, how is that on your radar of a question that you're giving to me? So I remember thinking, gosh, it feels really extreme, but I'm probably going to say you don't want to live the rest of your life in a wheelchair. Like, cricket's not that important. And then I see you pulling your whites on to head out into the test match, and I was thinking, geez, this girl's made of something else, because that is not normal.
Oh, fantastic! I might get that tattooed on my ribs. That's just that. I think that is my playing career in a quote.
Yeah.
That's the way it feels like anyway, because it was just like a mixture of being a nutter, a whole bunch of resilience, feeling injured for 19 years straight, but then all of that for how good those 4 days were.
You were smart in that test match though, Kathy. Have you told Jack what you did?
Oh, God.
She bowled 2 beamers in the first 10 overs of the first innings in 50-degree heat, got taken off out of the attack. So me, Anya and Jenny Gunn had to bowl like 75 overs each to get through it.
Cheers, mate.
I've never been the same
Bore
since.
off.
Go and pick your feet up, you.
Then she takes the final wicket and the celebration's all about her.
Were you bowling at Alyssa Healy?
No, I was bowling at the Great Wall of China, Sarah, and you could not get through her whatsoever. Wasn't she? She was unreal.
So you bowled it at the throat instead.
Well, no, that was at least
Sarah
Perry.
Elliott.
I did not mean to do that.
The ball slipped. It was so sweaty.
Oh, God. It was that hot, honestly, Jack. Sweat was pouring off the back of your hand down the cracks of your fingers. And it was just, honestly, ridiculous.
I've played in Perth in 40 degrees before. It's a naughty place to play cricket. Not the Wacker, but I've played in Perth a lot, and it's testing. But the breeze is lovely, isn't it?
When it came in eventually, yeah. Katherine was already just grazing at that point.
Yeah, she was feet up on the balcony in her socks and sandals, probably.
I knew I'd get absolutely roasted. That's the second roasting.
I was just about to say how resilient you are to say something like that and then bounce back, and like shows like the best have got to have that mongrel in them and that little bit of, no matter how much it hurts, I'm getting out there because rah, rah. Then you just go and bowl a couple of beamers and just stroll off.
Probably worse that you had to field for those 4 days. Well, first innings. It wasn't 4 days.
I still bowled my fair share, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, you did.
I got pulled into the umpire's office. I got asked if I did that on purpose, and I think I even got a level 1.
Correct.
I was like,
guilty.
Off. Jokes. Anyway, talking of injuries, obviously they come in all shapes and sizes, and being quite open and honest about like the mental challenges you've had, not only the physical. It's more of the physical stuff in terms of like level of injury. That one recently was quite one of your hardest, wasn't it? But the mental side of it, you've been quite open and honest about it. And where do you think you're in a really great place with that now?
Yeah, I think obviously you still get challenged with it. Obviously, I have been quite open about, like, when I took my break in 2016. Looking back now, it's quite funny that I was so willing to talk about that because I didn't really understand what I was going through. But I think my therapy and my rehab, in a way, was almost just talking to anyone that would listen to me harp on about my mental health.
Do you think it helped you?
Yeah, massively.
Quicker by sort of talking about it when you didn't want to or you weren't ready. It almost brought it out of you and helped you more.
Probably, yeah. I don't. The thing I always say about mental health is that it's just like a journey. It's, I guess, like with your back, you're always going to have back issues, even if you've probably come over the worst of it. There's going to be days where it hurts and days where it doesn't. So I feel like mental health can be quite similar to a physical injury in that you're going to have setbacks. And the back injury I just had actually was a real challenge for me mentally, and I found that really difficult because it affected day-to-day life as well as cricket. Like, you'll both know what it's like. I couldn't bend down and pick my niece up when she came. She'd travelled over to Australia and I couldn't play with her because I was just in so much pain day to day. So I found that one difficult. And I think that's the thing with mental health, is almost you're always going to probably have, you're probably going to suffer with it at some points, or, different parts of your life, not even just in cricket, but in general. But it's how you recognise it and what your strategies are to overcome it. And I think I'm a lot better now at not letting bad days become like bad periods, which is what in 2016 it just became this big, massive thing that I didn't understand, that was so overwhelming, and I didn't have any coping strategies for it, that I just had to extract myself away from cricket to try and learn about it and learn about myself. So, yeah, there's still times. I remember the Derby bubble. I mean, I think we all struggled in the Derby bubble with our mental health because it was just absolutely mental looking back that we put ourselves in the travel in for 3 weeks and played cricket at one cricket ground for that long when the rest of the world was just not doing anything normal. But yeah, I think it's just probably understanding yourself a bit better and having really robust coping strategies for when you aren't feeling as good as you'd like. But yeah, I still have moments with it, just they don't feel as grand, I guess, as they have done in the past.
Yeah, well, playing international sport it's very unique and rogue. Like, you're on this, especially now, you're on this big open stage, millions of people watching you, thousands of people live. Like, when you're doing your thing, you're very much on your own. And then you've got 5 minutes. If you got, hammered, even just individually, you have a bad spell, you've got to like literally get over it very quickly. Even if your back hurts or you know you're not feeling good and you're in bad form, so you're just blagging it on the pitch, to be able to just tell yourself to get up and bowl even though you know you're not ready. There's times when I know what I've played and I'm like, I shouldn't be playing today. Like, I'm in no way in as good a form as I need to be, and I'm really just putting myself out there, and this could go horribly wrong and bother me for X amount of time, but you've just got to keep picking yourself back up and throwing yourself back out there. And it's so, if you don't know how to cope with that or to how to move on from that quickly, it is a real problem, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's what's so unique about professional sport, and especially for the girls now getting a bit more attention than we have done in the past. Like, if you were just working in an office in a 9 to 5 job and you didn't really feel it that day, you just kind of go in and go under the radar, do your work and go home. Whereas I feel like, because there's so much more spotlight on us, and even chatting to the media after games or emotion on the pitch or anything like that, there's so much more expectation of what it should look like. And you should be absolutely loving your job because it's the best thing in the world to be a professional sports person. But I feel like it is quite hard to go under the radar when you're having bad days, and that's, I think, where you have to be really professional about what you do and kind of just turn up and obviously get out of yourself what you can that day and do the best for your team. But it is unique in that sense, isn't it, being like just putting yourself out there all the time to be vulnerable to fail in front of people, which I think that's what can be the hardest thing to work through, I guess, as a professional sports person.
Yeah, I think that's what helped me carry myself through games and tournaments is that you're always playing for something bigger than yourself, either your teammates or it's a World Cup or an Ashes. You literally got the whole country behind you, or and that's I think what if it was just an individual thing, I think I don't know if I would have, but potentially would have hidden away a bit more and not and had more time off. But because it was for a bigger thing, it always felt like if I don't, I'll be letting people down or my family down or something like that. So yeah, it's which is probably a little bit unhealthy. Don't follow my advice, kids, but it does help.
Well, it's the blessing and the curse of team sports, I guess, isn't it? Because you want to be out there for your teammates, but equally, if one of your teammates wasn't in their best mental space, that you'd want to drag them through it and try and help them. So if you're on your own, like in tennis or golf or whatever it might be, then that, I imagine, is really difficult to drag yourself through those moments when you've not got that support network around you.
Yeah, and what part of it is normal and what part of it is unhealthy. That's also tricky because it's like, well, like when I was playing, I've only ever got the dad in the back of my head going, like, your grandma used to identify body parts. She didn't need to see a psychologist. So you'd be like, it could be a whole lot worse, Katherine, than you being nervous about playing in front of 40,000 people. It's not really anything. But, it's everybody's has levels and it's such a difficult one. Like, what's your, it doesn't help that my parents are 80 and like I knew what like Caps's parents would be like 50. So it's
probably younger than that, Katherine.
You're right.
Probably my age. Yeah, so that was confusing for me, was the bit where it was like what bit is what's the bit what I'm supposed to be struggling, which bit is acceptable for me to not be okay, and all of it is fine, all of it is fine not to be okay. But I used to think that it had to be something so severe for me to admit that I needed a little bit of help, which is just not right at all.
Yeah, and I think that's what I mean about...
That's what's got better.
Yeah. I think that's what I mean about recognising what I needed and what my coping strategies were, because then I worked out what was normal for me in international cricket, what's normal for me at county level, because I still get quite anxious about playing county cricket because of that expectation that you're an England player, you're meant to come in and win games for your team, and you can't always be a match winner. Especially as a bowler, I feel like there's so much less that you can control as a bowler. So I feel like the pressures are different, but working out what's normal for me when I take to the pitch to know, I'm nervous today, but it's okay, I can go through this, or actually no, I need to talk to someone because I'm really struggling today and I feel like my performance might be affected by it. So it's just working out what it looks like for you and how it presents itself, I guess.
You mentioned about the women's game in general, then about the more things to deal with, and obviously more attention on the game in general, which is fantastic. It's kind of exploded, hasn't it, in the last few years? Now you've seen a lot. You've been around a little while now in the game, almost as much as Brunty. But how much has the game changed during your career? But also since even Katherine's retired 2 years ago, has it got even more big since then? And how do the youngsters deal with it now coming in? Are they more attuned to it, or is it like, Jesus, like this is what professional sport's about?
It's fascinating listening to the youngsters talk about it now because they're just so used to it. Like Capsy debuting in the 100 and playing in front of 12,000 people in a debut, and it's just now normal, or it's a bit abnormal if she's playing at Derby in front of 3,000 people because that's just not really that big a crowd. And I think, again, it'll be a bit of a blessing and a curse because those girls don't really know what it's like to play 5 days of one-day cricket in a row at Taunton Vale and go and get drunk at the Holiday Inn in the evening. But also what they've only ever known is professional cricket. So it's amazing in that respect. But that's where me and Katherine come in and are like, do you remember back in our day when we had to pay for our kits and we had to do that? I mean, I can't really talk that much because I feel like I came into it at more of a semi-professional era. So Katherine can harp on about all the stuff that she had to go through to play international cricket. But it does just seem to be moving and keeping going. I'm sure there'll be a time where it plateaus and the money becomes a bit more like stable and we're not having these massive increments each year. But it has just been such a quick journey. Because when I debuted, we weren't professional, and then so that was the winter of 2013, and then we got our first professional contracts in the March of 2014. So I'd not played for England that long as not as a professional cricketer. And I remember we got a bonus, didn't we, Katherine, for doing the back-to-back Ashes. So you'd played in the 2013 one at home, and then we won the 2014 away in
Was it
Australia.
like 20 quid and a high five?
No, it was good. I remember getting the email going, I want to carry on doing this because I can start paying for some cool things now because I've got some cash. But that was the first time I even associated playing cricket with earning money. And then not long after that, we got our first professional contracts, which my first one was actually less than that bonus that we got. So that goes to show how quickly it's changed in the last 5 years or so. But I actually think COVID was one of the biggest kind of catapults for us in the women's game, because that was what forced the 100 to bring the teams together. So we were meant to be playing at outgrounds, and then COVID hit, and because you had to have the COVID protocol and the safety of one-way traffic at grounds, we had to play at the stadiums that the men were playing at, and that was then obviously what has created such a brilliant tournament for the women's game, because we kind of leapfrogged the back of the men's one by virtue of what happened through COVID. So I think without that, I'm not sure we would necessarily have the product that we've got today, or it would have taken a longer time to get to what we've got today.
Spot on. It's been great to see. It's been spot on. Now, away from cricket, people might be listening to this thinking, that's podcast host Kate Cross on there. Do you feel more famous for podcasting more than cricket sometimes?
People talk to me more about the podcast than they do about my career, which is fine. I don't really want to talk about cricket, but like when you sign autographs at the end of games and stuff, everyone says, or most people say to me that they listen to the pod or they're glad the pod's come back, and which is quite nice because I think, well, I mean, one of the main reasons me and Al wanted to do it was to give a bit of an insight about how normal playing professional sport can be and what like hotel hopping looks like, and the kind of behind the scenes stuff that you don't necessarily get to know about. So that was our intention, and then it's just become probably a bit more of a shambles. But actually, having been on this now, I've realised that it's not just us that's a shambles, so that's good.
Oh no, all the good ones are a shambles.
Yeah. But it's been great fun, great fun. Honestly, it's some of my best hours of the week come from just chatting rubbish with Alex on a podcast, because you're two mates having a chat and talking about what you've been up to that week. So it has been great fun, and it's definitely opened a few doors for us as well, which we never anticipated.
100%. So you think it's going to make an easier transition? I'm not going to retire you just now, but when your career does finish, because obviously you've got years left in you. Brunty played till she was 45. You've got a few more injuries left in you. A few more body parts have got to fail on you first. Do you feel like there's a transition naturally for you towards the media, or do you think I want to try other things, get away from the game, or do I want to try coach? I think you'll be a good coach as well.
Thank you. I don't think I've got the patience for coaching. I feel like I'd be a bit like I'd do as
Yeah,
I
but
say,
you're
not
still
as I do.
playing. You're still playing.
Yeah,
I never imagined to have that. I never wanted to be a coach, and I found myself being a coach as a senior player in the environment anyway. And you kind of, people go to you all the time, and that's what coaching is really.
Yeah.
You've done a fair bit anyway, because you've done the old pro coach stuff, haven't you? Which I've done as well.
Gosh, throwback. Yeah. I guess what I've loved in the latter years of my career has been being the senior player in the England dressing room, which when Katherine and Anya were playing, I didn't need to be because we had two more senior bowlers. So it's great. I could just talk to them and listen to them. But I think since those two have retired, it's been quite nice to have people want to hear what you've got to say, or kind of listen to how you've got to where you've got to with your career. So that I've really enjoyed that. So I won't rule coaching out, but it's never kind of been on my radar. I did do a master's through COVID in directorship, so maybe like the behind the scenes stuff and more decision making within cricket. Just purely because I didn't want, I guess I knew the journey I'd had in cricket, and I didn't want any young girl to have the barriers that I'd had. And I thought if I've been through that journey, I might be able to implement changes that might make it a bit easier for the next generation to be professional cricketers. But I do love commentary. I have so much fun, and you get to watch cricket and just talk and get paid, and there's no pressure on whether you bowl in the slot or bowl wide. It's a great. So I don't know. I feel like I've got a few doors open, but I guess you don't really know until you retire and what the nature of the retirement looks like, and if you go out through an injury and then you can't
winging it like these two old goats.
Yeah, I'll be doing plenty. I mean, I feel like I've winged the career, so I feel like I'll carry on doing that. But I'd love to stay in the sport.
You got to freeze your eggs first as well if you're going to follow Brunton.
I know.
I've not frozen my eggs.
Still using yours?
I used the fresh ones. Nat's frozen the eggs.
Sorry, yeah, Nat's frozen.
With the whole directorship and what you just said there, Katherine, do you feel like me in that there's a bit of a responsibility there for what we've gone through the last 20 years? Like, I feel like whatever I went through in the last 20 years, I feel like I've hit every era there was. Practically, I think I missed wearing a skirt by like a year or something, but I think I've been through every era and then like seen everything, and then just about got to where this pay started getting good, and then obviously 19, 20 years worth.
And then married someone who earns a lot of that pay. Clever.
Shut up. To then feel like if I don't do something in cricket, I feel like it's a bit of a waste. Do you know what I mean? Like, even if it's just as far as mentoring or, passing something. I always felt like I could do more when I was playing. Like you mentioned about myself and Anya. I absolutely adored that. If anybody ever came up to it, because I never wanted to go up to anyone, because I'd find that patronizing. Like, we're on the same playing field here. You're a professional cricketer, so am I. I don't need to, say anything or coach anybody. But it was so nice when somebody came up and took the time. You were definitely one of them. To like pick your brain and be interested in what you had experienced, because I was 10 years in when you came in, and so there is sort of a life lived there for you to tap into. So it does feel like after 19 years of playing international cricket that it would be a waste to not be involved somehow and pass on something.
I think as well, especially in your situation, you've played so much cricket, and my argument is still that women don't get to play as much cricket as men. So your Alice Capsey's, when she's 20, what is she? Is she in the 20 yet? Is she 21? Frightening. But the amount of cricket she's played at that age is nowhere near as much as a Rocky Flintoff will have played at the same age. So I always think that because you've got so much knowledge and experience within the game, then that's where it would be wasted if you left the game completely. But I also just love it. I've lived and loved cricket for all my life. It's been the biggest thing. It's shaped my career. It shaped me as a person. It shaped the life that I live, my family's lifestyle. So I don't think I could possibly walk away from it just because it's kind of in the DNA, I guess. So I think that's why I'd be so desperate to stay in the sport and just also keep chasing the highs of being around a team. And I think my biggest worry when I retire is I'm not going to have that adrenaline rush that you get from professional sport anymore. And I don't know how I'd get that other than being around another team and being in a dressing room in some regard. So I think that's probably why I'd be desperate to stay in the sport.
Yeah, you do get a little bit of that from coaching. If someone you've been working with and the things are working, you can just see the enjoyment and the instant make them feel tall and things are working. It's like, wow, actually, I'm helping someone here.
And also think back to the moments you had as a player where a coach helped you through a particularly hard time or they celebrated with you, then you wanted as a player to have that person with you. So if you could be that person for someone else, then that's equally as special, I think.
100%. You always go back to them in tough times.
So on the podcast back in, love doing that. Media career is on the cards. So is coaching. So is the directorship at whatever county it may be. But what also does life look like for Katherine after cricket? Is there a little Theodore on the cards, maybe, or something?
You know what, Kathy? I don't know yet. I feel like the lifestyle that we live is so hard to imagine having a child. I certainly will not be having a child and coming back to cricket. Let me tell you that right now. I've seen you doing warm-ups pre-child, and I know what those jumps did to you. So there's not a chance I will be doing that. And also at 33, it feels like, you know, we're running out of time for that. So I don't know. I feel like having my niece and having little Theo around has been amazing. The group absolutely love it, and it's brought a different dynamic, I guess, to the team. But you just don't know, do you? You don't know. Again, I don't know how my career is going to finish. I might play another 10 years yet. So who knows?
At least your pregnancy wouldn't be an accident. Mine was very much planned.
Mine could be an accident. I've got more chance of it being an accident, I think, than planned.
You reckon? This
Who
is going
knows?
south. This
Yeah, how did we
podcast.
get onto this?
I mean, we can take it down this area if you want, ladies. But
Wild.
I'll bring it back. I'll bring it back a little bit.
There's
Before we
a
move on,
part here. There's a part here, Crossy, that says ask Katherine about stories of playing with Brunty, but I think we should just scrap that, right, and move on to the next bit.
I've got loads of stories about playing with Brunty that you can have. Loads.
No.
give us something that we can get thrown onto a reel.
It's one thing then.
Okay, when she played against Shefali Verma in a test match, Shefali was 16 at the time, maybe 17 at a push, and Katherine bowled a ball. Shefali stepped outside leg to try and hit her over the covers. Why not? It's the first 5 overs of a test match, and she's gone. Ball goes through between wicket and pads, and Katherine goes, "What are you doing, you little?" to a 17-year-old live on the telly. Stump
That was to me, to myself.
It didn't look that way.
All right, mate.
It doesn't look that way. And that is my favourite moment in international cricket ever. Ever.
Guys, I'd just like to bring your attention to the Bumrah and Constance. Is it Constance? Constance. I forgot his name.
Constance.
You know, that is the same situation, guys, isn't it? And it's just so happens to be, I bet you were enthralled by that as well. It just so happens to be the most entertaining thing ever. Were you not fully entertained by me and Shefali?
I was so entertained at mid-off. It was great.
Exactly. That's all we're all here for, is pure entertainment.
Have you ever called someone a on field, Crossy?
Not near a stump mic, no. That's where I rein it in and Katherine goes...
Yeah, that's where I've had about 16 different level ones over the years. Probably one a year, actually, I would say.
And the rest.
And the rest.
Right, Crossy, this is Under the Lids Take 5. We're going to ask you just 5 random questions, quick fire, completely random, a little bit fun.
This is basically someone's way of, if they wanted to find you on Hinge or whatever app you're on, they know what you'll like.
Is this a dating show?
Yeah, is this what's going on? I feel like, are you setting me up with someone?
Right, so anybody listening wants to know a bit about Katherine and maybe take her out, what's your go-to pizza topping?
Some sort of chicken with mushrooms and peppers and jalapenos and everything on it.
Just help someone out massively there, aren't we? So, next question.
This might take a little bit of thinking, but what's one random fact you'd like to know about your own life?
I don't even understand that question.
Yeah, I thought the same when I saw it, but
so an example is,
how many times in your life you said the word or something like that?
Oh, okay, I'm with you.
How many cricket balls you've bowled?
I've got one. I would like to know how many hours I've spent travelling to cricket matches and back home from cricket matches. Yeah, just Taunton. That probably beats all the other cricket matches combined.
Katherine, I don't think you'd actually want to know that because it added up in years of your life.
Exactly. I want to know how many years I've spent travelling to cricket. Not even playing cricket, just travelling to cricket.
Eating
Haribo. Say it on your deathbed. I've spent so many years. Right, here we go. I like to know this one because I'm looking for a TV show right now. Which TV show is your guilty pleasure?
It's not guilty because I love it, but it's Friends. I can watch Friends forever and ever and ever.
See, that's the kind of generation of person that I'm used to speaking to.
Mine's gross at the minute, so I won't tell you. Jack.
Gross. What have you been watching?
Geordie Shore. Geordie Shore.
See,
I'm on season
that's quite
15.
guilty. That is quite guilty.
That's very guilty. That
Yeah.
is, yeah.
And isn't it? It's absolute trash.
Never try and talk to me about it, please. If you could only keep one inanimate thing from your house, what would it be? Are you in your house right now?
I'm in my house right now. Yeah, this is my house.
Is there anything inanimate in that house that you would only keep one thing from it?
Yeah, I've got a little box that my sister gave me when I went on my first England tour that had this little card in it saying good luck, and she'd put pictures of my nieces and my family in there, and it comes around with me wherever I travel now, so I'd probably take that with me.
That's cute, isn't it?
That's too cute. You need to keep that in some sort of fire safety box. It's already giving me anxiety. Don't leave it anywhere. Where do you store your toaster and other kitchen appliances? This could be for the just to maybe see if you're weird or not.
I am weird. I know I'm weird.
Are you a surface area kind of gal?
I know I'm weird, but I've got an excuse for being weird. So my toaster stays in the cupboard because I don't actually have that big a kitchen, so I've not got enough surface space. But if I did have enough space, then the toaster would be on the top.
Yeah, that's fair.
You don't toast from a cupboard. You don't have like a little socket.
No, I take it out. No, I take it out. Yeah. My air fryer is still in the box because I've got no space for it. So I'm too scared about taking it out and having to find more cupboard space for it. So it's just in the box from Christmas still.
Hey, yeah. Jack, did you know that boys, obviously, I say obviously, that's pretty unfair. Normally, you know, a bit more untidy, unkept.
Are we?
And it gives women a lot more anxiety and stress when there's clutter around and stuff like that. So if you could help your wife out, and that's looking very good to me.
That's
Jack.
good.
Are you
yeah.
A clean freak? Is this from your cricket?
This is my fiance Danny's very clean. Luckily, I am, and I'm a minimalist anyway. When I had my own house in Leeds, I lived on my own. I had no bits. Every room was pretty bare, if you like. Classic sort of bachelor at the time. The only thing I'm really messy with is clothes. If I can't be bothered to put them away, they end up just getting thrown onto a chair or floor, and then at the end of the day or night, I'll just lob it in a pile, and then it will get thrown around the next day. But that's quite common, I think, for people. But generally, I'm very minimalist, clean. I'm quite OCD with cleaning. Like the whole kitchen has to be clean. It's all
you sound like a good husband material.
Yeah.
Well, is that what you would be looking for in a man, Kate?
This really is a dating show, isn't it?
So it's my last one.
I could give or take on the cleanliness because I think I'm clean enough that I'd cope with someone else's cleanliness or uncleanliness, if you know what I mean.
But not too messy.
Not too messy.
Cool.
Right, Katherine, you'll be pleased to know this is the last round.
I want to win a prize.
Yes, you'll be done in 3 to 5 minutes, and we all know you like a quiz, especially on your podcast. So
love a quiz.
We're going to turn the tables on you, and this is just so happens to be brought to you by Simplexity Travel, which is one of our PCA sponsors and kind donator of this sensational prize. Rules are simple: 10 questions, and you need to get them right, and you need to get them right in as quick a time as possible. Okay. Nat Sciver-Brunt is leading the way with 50 seconds. So if you wouldn't mind doing it, longer than that, that'd be ideal.
Yeah, Brunty, off air earlier, we did agree that if Nat wins, then it might be void, and we may have to give it to an actual guest who's not married to you.
And it can't be Amy Jones or Beth Langston, who are also in the room with you.
If we do win, I'd like it to be our decision who we donate it to. How about that?
Or just the person that came second?
Oh, whatever. No, because that would be lame. I could donate it to a mega fan or something.
That listener, you said you'd give a cricket bat to, that you waited 4 months to give it to?
Exactly. Bumped into her at a cricket ground.
Did you?
Yeah, bumped right into her at Canterbury. Literally came up to me while I was sitting down having a crisp pint in the sunshine. And she said, "Thank you very much. Scored some runs with that the other day at club." Fantastic.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, anyway, this is what's going down. It's a tailor-made prize, so it will literally be like 4 or 5 days tailored to you. Pretty spenny prize, this, guys. So
Just need a passport. That's all you need, and a potential friend or partner.
Okay. Does it have to be someone I meet through this podcast?
Oh,
yeah, you've got to take
I've got to
some
take
random
someone who's-
listener to.
Yeah, nice. Who bought me a chicken pizza?
I fear for the state of your DMs next week or whenever this comes out. Yeah, we're going to take it in turns, alternate with questions. Literally, we'd take your first answer, go as quickly as you can. We'll give you the answer, and then we'll just reconvene at the end.
I'm ready. Do I find out today if I'm at the top?
Yeah, we'll give you a time today.
Great. Okay.
So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Who did Lancashire beat in the T20 County Cup final?
Surrey.
Lancashire women,
Correct.
yeah, correct.
in which famous stadium did you make your Test debut?
The Wacker.
Correct.
Correct. What is an umpire signalling when they hold one hand above their head with their palm open?
A bye.
Yep.
Who was the England captain for the 2005 Men's Ashes?
Michael Vaughan.
Oh, correct.
Yeah, you've taken ODI fifers against New Zealand, India, and which other country?
Ireland.
Yep.
What crisp is on the Northern Superchargers shirt?
Pop chips.
Who is the BBC's lead cricket commentator?
Jonathan Agnew.
Yes.
Who took the final wicket in the 2017 Women's ODI World Cup final?
Annie Shubsaw.
Correct. Which British singer-songwriter whose bad habits wouldn't stop him making the A team was also born in 1991?
Ed Sheeran.
Yes.
Final question. At the time of recording, like I need to say that, who has a lower ODI bowling average? You or Alex Hartley?
Oh no. I'm going to say me.
Correct.
Correct!
Let's get a time from our producers on that.
I'd be
That was
so devastated if Alex had a better ODI bowling average than
Well,
me.
I'm not being funny, but they are the same, 24.33 and 24.35.
okay. We've got a message from our producer. I'm just hearing it in my ear. You've got 10 correct in 1 minute 14 seconds. We have a new leader.
How?
Yeah.
I didn't do it in under 50 seconds.
I think she only got 9 right. She must have only had 9 right. Crossy, I will see you in October. Where are we off?
Where are we going, Jack? Me, you, and little Theo. We'll take Theo and let those two have a
You can
weekend
come
off.
here. Ski season, it's fantastic. I don't earn commission.
Excellent. Well played, Crossy. That was impressive.
Thank you. That was fun.
They weren't that difficult. It was fun, wasn't it? I'm glad you had fun.
Well, thanks for coming on, Katherine, and taking some time out of your what is actually your official time off between series.
You're
So
welcome.
thanks for that. I am on my holidays as well. I feel like I deserve a bit of
On my
credit for
holidays.
this. So thanks
Yeah.
to me as well. Hope you've had
Thanks
a
for
whirl of
coming on,
time, and I hope you get many boyfriends from
Yeah,
from
I'll
this
keep you
episode.
updated.
God's sake, I look forward to this feedback. Thanks for coming on a respectable podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I understand how difficult it is to get people to come on podcasts, so I'm always up for it. So
Excellent. We'll bear your mind for a return visit then.
perfect. As long as I'm winning a trip to Iceland, I don't care. I'm here.
Oh, God. Well, if someone beats you, then fair play to them. Don't get Heather Knight on again because she won it last year.
Did she?
Listen, Crossy, enjoy the rest of the summer. Good luck with on-field injuries, off-field podcasting, and in your love life. And I'll catch you around.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks, Katherine. Enjoy the rest of your holiday.
Ta, love. Ciao for now.
Bye.
Lovely stuff, Brunty.
Bronte. That was a good one, that, Jack. I enjoyed that. Did you?
Yeah, she's a good egg. She's a good egg. She's top girl. So yeah, that was very insightful. I really enjoyed some of the insight, particularly a little bit on you. Doesn't surprise me either.
I knew I was going to get plenty of banter, but I thought she was fairly tame, to be fair. So yeah, enjoyed it. Great bit of like delve into not only a love life, but you know, all the different aspects of it, which there are lots of. And I didn't know about the degree and that all being something, the director role, I mean, that going into that after cricket. That was pretty cool. I think that would suit her to a T, and she'd really get things going in the women's sector. So yeah, I hope that all pans out for her.
Should we get Claire Connor's hot seat in a few years? That's us done for the week. We're finished. We will come back in a couple of weeks with another great guest. Please always throw us some questions or some comments. DM us on Instagram using #underthelid, or email us at underthelid@thepca.co.uk. That's a new email address now. underthelid@thepca.co.uk. Subscribe, listen, tell your friends, and we'll look forward to seeing where Brunty is in the world next record.
Yes. Probably
Au revoir.
India tour.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Ciao for now.